Welcome back to another episode of the Experts in Fire podcast. I'm your host, Mike Vennard, and with me today is Randy Mowry. Today's episode is Order Now Before It Gets Cold. Let's get into it. Hey, Randy, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing awesome. How are you today, sir?
I am wonderful, man. I know this episode isn't going to drop until August, but we are recording this post 4th of July. So, yes, we are in the heart of July, and I hope you had a good 4th, man. Is everything good with you and the fam?
Yeah, it was. We were out on Lake Michigan area over in the Grand Haven, walking the strip, the lighthouse and stuff out there. It was beautiful weather. That whole 4th of July weekend, it was nice.
Great state. Love Michigan. Hung out on Lake Michigan myself the day before the 4th, so that would be the 3rd. We got a cool little spot we like to go hide with the locals out there on the 4th, and I think we were out there 7 hours floating on dollar store rafts.
Nice.
Yeah. My wife keeps looking at me going, when are you going to buy a good raft? I said, are you kidding? This thing just sits on a shelf for a year. If it pops, I don't care. I go to the dollar store, grab a couple more. Today we are going to talk about order now before it gets cold. I think this is going to be one of our most important episodes for folks to listen to, because there is a concept out there that we really want to help folks overcome. There are a lot of people out there who are preparers. They're going to get prepared. They want to do the job right. And then there's the rest of us, right? Who go, hey, it's cold out. I should do task A, B, C, D, whatever it is. And in the day and age that we're in the time that we're in, when it comes to supply and when it comes to all the backups we had because of COVID, we wanted to get a chance to say, hey, folks, our awesome listeners, order now before it gets cold.
I agree 100%. Yeah, definitely going to be a good episode to go with at this time. August is a good time for this episode definitely to drop for folks to listen and just kind of put their mindset in what they're gonna be doing over the fall season and getting those projects started.
Absolutely. So let's just talk a little. I know we already had an episode on supply chain, but let's kind of help our listeners and our clients understand some of the struggles that are out there and that are real. And I know they're running into them, so I am no way trying to make excuses. We get emails all the time from folks who are frustrated because they're getting the same thing we're getting, COVID-19, and folks are starting to throw their hands up and say, when does this excuse end, right? And I get it. I totally understand, and we're not trying to use it as an excuse. It's hard. It's definitely hard to keep up. So when we talk about August being the time to order, it's because we naturally see a rush as we go into the third quarter and fourth quarter, right? Especially the end of the third and through the fourth quarter. And that's always been amazing to me because I found myself as my kids have grown up, I'm at Toys R Us, which isn't open anymore, it's closed. I find myself in the fourth quarter rush at Toys R Us to buy presents. It's amazing to me how many people are buying hearth-related products in the third and fourth quarter. It is our biggest time of year. So when we say pre-plan, we're saying that not just because, hey, there's problems with supply out there, but because the rush is coming. We could totally go Game of Thrones on this thing and just say it, right? Winter is coming.
Winter is coming. It is. And you said it, pre-plan. I mean, that's, the fall, we want to try to pre-plan these days, like as of right now, 2021, the sooner the better. Not only from the purchasing of the products, but also for our clients getting their assistance from their contractors. Because the contractors themselves, they're extremely busy. A lot of those folks really never stopped because they were essential workers. So they have a backlog of business as well. So that's part of the pre-planning that I think we're talking about as well, because it could take you a couple weeks just to get a contractor to come out and assess what you're thinking of doing on your project.
Exactly. And then we run into the issue of if you try to get a contractor deep third quarter and into the fourth quarter. I mean, I have friends calling me every year going, "Hey man, I bought this log set. Do you know anyone who could install this for me?" And I'm like, "Man, I got friends all over the state here of Michigan that do installs. They own their own brick and mortars, and I can tell you, no, I don't know anyone that could install that for you right now."
Right, exactly.
Because they're all busy, right? They've all been booked up. So, as we walk into this third and fourth quarter, it's very important for everybody to understand pre-plan now, pre-plan because the rush is coming, as well as let's dive into some of the supply issues and how it kind of works. So our customers understand we're not trying to get you to give us your money sooner. We're trying to get you product because we get beat up every day, I'll say. We get frustrated customers every day. And then we turn around and we try not to beat up our vendors or, those who are supplying those who are trying to supply these products to us who are having issues. And we're trying to get everyone to understand, hey, we're all in the same boat, but you can really help out if you approach things this way. So we kind of broke it down into 4 categories. If it is on the shelf, that means it's on our shelf, or we have been buying product from all over the place, all over the country. If we can find it for our clients, we'll buy it and we'll ship it out to our clients. But if it's on the shelf, we can get it for you. Now, there are issues inside of that. I wish I could say, because of the number of warehouses that we have been utilizing, especially over the course of COVID-19, that we get automatic updates that, hey, I've got 5 on my shelf, and if you place this order now, all of a sudden my entire team, and Randy, the sales team, is sitting over there, they're going to see there's only 4 on the shelf now, and that's not how it works. It's just not.
No, it's not. And that's the thing. That's why, we get so many updates. The frequency of our updates is impeccable just because of the on shelf versus any kind of special order. But on shelf, we have to track that down and make sure that it is there. Because if, like you said, if it is there, obviously we're gonna get it out to you right away. But also on shelf today doesn't mean it's going to be on shelf 6 hours from now, 8 hours from now, 24 hours from now. It changes that frequent, Mike, as you know.
Yeah, and that's been a part of the frustration for our clients is they have been shopping and they finally come to the decision, hey, I'm going to buy this. I'm going to pull the trigger. I do the same thing, right? It's how I shop. I do my research. I kind of look around. I watch life happen. I listen and go, wait, no, I just bought that furnace, so I don't have to worry about it going out. I can make this purchase, right? There's just, everybody has their own little quirks on how they purchase something. And I want you to be able to go through your routine. But I think we mentioned it in the supply episode. If you haven't listened to that one, go ahead and jump over to that and give it a listen. But have a couple options available.
Absolutely.
If you're stuck on one, I am so afraid you're going to be disappointed, and I don't want you to be.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll give you an example, and it just happened this week. I had a gentleman working with, and he was in between a 36 and a 42 fireplace. He wasn't exactly sure which model he wanted to go with. I'm sorry, 38, 42. Decided on the 38. We chatted about inventory. We had 2 available at the time of thought. He placed the order for the 38 inside of a 12-hour period. When our PO was received into the warehouse, the 38s were gone. And I reached back out to him and let him know that, sorry, that's gone already. And that's how quick it was. I mean, it was that quick. Fortunately, we had 42s, and he's like, okay, well, just send me the 42. And so we were, to change things, but also, that process of changing takes a few hours as well, because there's a lot of internal works that have to happen to cancel one order, create a new order, and get that into the warehouse. So, we do those as quickly as possible, but that is just a good example of how quick product is going off of the stock shelf as of right now, because now that 38 unit is 6 weeks on availability right now.
Yeah, and that's a great point, Randy. And I know as I shop the internet, I just figure I place my order's in, right? And that's typically how it works. But you have to remember, in terms of warehouses, Amazon is the big dog, and they're working 24 hours a day, and they've just, they're cranking through. Inside of our industry, there's a push and a rush, but it's not crazy like that. And I don't foresee it ever going that direction in terms of needing to be open like that. But there is sometimes a lag that's going to be created because of when the order was placed, or anything else that might have needed to be checked in terms of availability of venting or things of that nature. So have another model on hand, but then understand that if it isn't on the shelf and it's on order, so it will be on the shelf, we're looking at right now anywhere from 10 to 14 weeks before those shipments land and we put them back on the shelf.
With that being said, it is important to get the order in now, because the availability, if you wait for that 10 weeks and then place your order, all of the orders that are pre-ordered are going to be fulfilled first. So if we have 30 pre-orders, we get 31 units in, that means that we may end up with one on the shelf, but that one order could come in anytime between that, and then all of a sudden all 31 are gone, and then you're waiting another 10 to 12 weeks because you were waiting initially. So it's really not, let's get those pre-orders in now, so that if it is a scenario where somebody has to wait 10 weeks, at least they're on that order, so that they know that when that inventory comes in for them, that they are secured a product.
And it's hard for me, if somebody asks me as a consumer, somebody says, well, get your name on the list. My personality type is, you are trying to pitch me, right?
Exactly. I know. And that's why I mentioned that to him. Just like, I'm not pushy. I've been doing this a long time, however, this is the day and age of what we're working with right now in 2021.
Right.
So,
right.
And when you explain it to folks, and I think a lot of folks nowadays, Mike, they really know, so they don't feel that part of it when you're asking them to pre-order. I think today with what we're trying to discuss is just the importance of pre-planning and the difference in what's on a shelf, what's stock, what is pre-ordering and getting in an expected time period for them.
You have fire-related questions, and we have answers. You can email us your questions at podcast@woodlanddirect.com or give us a call at 586-221-3638. We would love to be able to answer them right here on the Experts in Fire podcast. You know what? That takes us right into the next. So the first two, it's on the shelf. We're going to get that out. If it's in our direct warehouse, it's going to go out within 24 hours. Typically, if it's in one of our partners' warehouses, it's going to go out within 48 to 72 hours. So that's where I mentioned that lag. Even though it might show as, hey, it's available right now, they typically ask us for a day to 2 days to process the order. And by the time they process that order, it may have gone out of stock. We're constantly trying to, make sure you have a second option available. But then if that isn't on the shelf, but it's on order, you're looking at anywhere from 10 to 14 weeks before it gets back on the shelf, and you may want to get in the pre-order line. And then that moves us to product that you see on our website, Randy, where we have direct relationships with the manufacturers, which we have direct relationships with most of our manufacturers, and that is made to order. A lot of that stuff is listed as 6 to 8 weeks right now. I believe, we're in July recording this. By the time August comes, well, today we're working on changing it to 8 to 10 weeks for made to order. And by August, it might be 10 to 12 because things haven't been slowing down. So, I don't think people fully understand lead times. And why would they? They're not in the business, right? We're in the business. So if it's on the shelf, it's going to be pretty quick. If it's normally on the shelf, but we're out of stock, it's 10 to 14 weeks. And now our made to order section, you're talking concrete, fire bowls, fire pits, things of that nature. Those are looking at being 8 to 10 weeks, 10 to 12 weeks as well. And then we get to custom orders. Talk to us about custom orders, Randy.
Made to order are going to be our standard sizes in the fire features, in the fire bowls, the standard colors that are available. And they're made to order because of the variety of sizes and colors. There's just no way to inventory stacks and stacks of these things in a warehouse. So that's why they're made to order. Custom is going to be items like I'm working on right now, 10-foot diameter fire pit burner assembly, all stainless steel, electronic. So those are fully custom, have to be built from scratch in a separate part of the production part of the manufacturer's warehouse. So custom unit, now that could push us easily into a 10 to 12 week lead time right out of the gate, just because it is a full custom. We're building a one-off for an individual, for a client, whether that's a burner, just a burner system, or if it's actually a mold and we having to create a mold, create an entire fire pit assembly. Those lead times are actually going to take longer, because when it comes to custom, even though they have a custom department, you're putting everything outside of a production. So, it's a one-off piece. It depends on the size of the thing. I'm using a 10-foot diameter as an example. However, it's going to depend on what manufacturer we're going with. It's going to depend on the overall size. If we're just changing some things on certain pieces by a little bit here and there, it may not take that long. But we won't know until we get the information from our client and then get with our custom shop that is going to work on it, and we'll get those lead times for you.
That's a solid point, because there are some of our custom shops, they fit things in, and it really is, it's a testimony to how hard they work, but it's also, you get your order in and sometimes you get a little lucky. You get your order in with the expectation of a longer lead time and everything's good. When you're in a rush situation though, and I don't blame any of our clients for being in rush situations. Sometimes it feels like, folks are frustrated by that. I'm not. I've been in the industry long enough. I've just been in business long enough to know sometimes you need a rush. You just have to. That's where you find yourself. That's where we really suggest. It may not be. A lot of times our clients, their clients are looking at them going, no, that is the one I want. And we'll shoot you straight on lead times when you come to us with that. But we'll also try and give options that you could take back to your clients and say, okay, this one we're going to have to wait 2.5 months for. But if we go with a different version like this over here, we can get it done quicker. At least offering some solutions, and that's really what we've honed in on through the course of 2021. Let's be solution oriented, because we're not trying to satisfy without supply. We can't. It's not that we're trying or could try. We just can't. The supply isn't there. So we've had to really hone our skills on, let me help bring some solutions for you. But as a pro, if you could bring some of those solutions with you and say, look, this is what I want. Like you said, your guy, 38, 42, I'm between them. I'd land on the 38. Great. 38's gone. Send me the 42. It made the decision for me. Those are the types of things that are super helpful in both satisfying our customer and then our customers satisfying their customers.
And I do feel that a lot of the contractors are being a little bit more open to these adjustments and things of that nature with their clients and expressing that to them. Just had one yesterday with one of my regular contractors. His client was pretty adamant about wanting a Bluetooth on a particular burner setup, and it just wasn't going to fit the timeline that he needed, and we had to move into something that we could get to him quicker. It just didn't have the Bluetooth capability. So it worked out, but it was because that both the contractor and his client, the end-use homeowner, they were all open to change and open to suggestion.
It is an amazing time, and it's if you kind of zoom out and just look at, you have all these consumers and they want to buy, But inside of our industry, there's only so much that you can purchase. There are only so many gas logs out there. There are only so many fireplaces out there. And if there's a run on steel and we see an issue throughout, we have really become, instead of here are all of your options, we've become let us help you navigate to the option that you can actually get. That's really become.
Yeah, if they need it. Yeah, absolutely. If it's something that they need quick, the pre-planning, it's August. I know it's hot, in Michigan, it's probably going to be 80s and 90s. So it's one of those things. We're not thinking about doing these fire features in fireplaces and, things of that nature. But definitely want to encourage everybody to start pre-planning in August. If you are going to do something in the fall season, give us a call with the products that you're thinking about so that we can let you know what the current lead times are and go from there, get that stuff done.
Absolutely. And then remember that if you can begin that pre-plan, the rush is coming. Winter is coming. This is going to step into third quarter, fourth quarter when it gets cold and everybody starts to purchase. So if you can pre-plan and beat the rush of the fourth quarter, then you're going to put yourself probably in the best position. Because I'm getting messages even now of product that is going on back order. So
yes, yeah, it's definitely a daily, if not hourly, challenge.
It sure is. It sure is. So, hey, we want to thank everybody for listening. And as always, if you have any questions, comments, anything you'd like to hear discussed, please reach out to us. We've gotten quite a few comments and questions. There's really not a whole lot that we could share on the show. It's just been, hey, I have a question about where I can put this or where I can do that. So keep them coming, though. Randy, I believe you reach out to people directly.
I have.
Yeah, good deal. So we'd love it. We love it. We'd love it. And then if there's something you're sitting out there wondering about, saying, man, I wonder if, hit us in all the different ways that you can, and we'll definitely take the time to answer that question for you and hopefully get it on the air as well, so that other folks can hear the answer, because usually it's true. My master's degree is in education, so I know if one person's thinking it, there are other people in the class that are thinking it.
There's someone.
Be the brave one. Be the brave one. Reach out to us, and you'll help a whole lot of people in the process. Wow, I just spun that, didn't I? That was fun.
Yes, you did.
Cool. Well, thank you so much, Randy. I appreciate you, brother. Every time we get together, it's a good time.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Mike. Been a pleasure.
And that's a wrap.